What's going on, you finger sniffers? It's Nick Daniels here, coming at you live yet again with the setup inside. Hopefully this isn't too bad. Apologize about this piece right here being in the bit in the way, but we'll figure that out as we go along. So today we're going to be talking about the rules of texting, which is apparently a guide to getting you more dates and less flakes, as it's called. So what this guide particularly is going to be about is it's going to show some examples of texting. We're just going to briefly go through it. We're going to highlight a little bit as we go along, and hopefully we'll pick up on a few things that I think are interesting. So we're going to skim through this probably as quick as possible. So if you want to read the whole thing, you can just find the PDF online, and I believe this is by Andrew Ferebee, who also talked about the Dating Playbook for Men, which I talked about on the channel. So without any further ado, let's get into it. So the four things that need to happen before the first text. Now, I'm going to be a little bit less into this part because, a lot of the times I'm texting, I've probably met them already somewhere, or it's through online dating. But definitely a few things will come in handy. So that's why we'll skim through a little bit here. So you know her name and she knows your name, and that's definitely like a very basic thing. But if you send a text, if I were to talk to a lady at a bar and I'd be like, oh hey, it's Nick. So that way that's put away right away. Like, yeah, you would not want to forget that shit. Go for longer interactions with the girl. So all phone numbers are not made equal. It says you just met a girl and the interaction was okay and lasted for less than 5 minutes. And that phone number means it's really weak. That makes a lot of sense to me. Yeah, the longer an interaction where you first meet someone, definitely the better. Like in speed dating where, you only have 6 minutes per person, I can definitely agree that, that is a bit of a struggle. But there are chances where you get to talk to someone longer at the event, and that it definitely goes a longer way, because if you've only briefly talked and then you text, it can definitely be a hard one. So seed a reason to text her. And I mean, really just the first line would be right here, like, you should be seeding potential future dates, and I fully agree. Anytime I try to, I'm into texting, it's really just progressing to the next date is what you want to do. He seems like he's got an example here of like yogurt. It seems to be his big thing, which is ice cream. I've read this a little bit before, and it always talks about like, hey, do you want to grab a yogurt? No. Stay with her for at least 1 minute after getting the number. I also apply that to dates as well. I think that they're both useful. So like if I'm on a date and like the date technically has ended, like we've left the establishment and she's going one way and I'm going the other, like we're gonna split. I'll hang out for a minute or two and just keep something going for a quick minute, and I think it adds some value. Because you're like here it says like you're investing extra time with her. Which is interesting. I like that. So again, yeah, we'll go through this a little quickly. So the three things to always be doing: adding value, which is being flirting, be authentic and have fun, keep it simple, straightforward, and handle logistics and set up the date. Like I said, like that's what you do. Okay, so here's a couple things to not do, which I think is probably pretty self-explanatory. But negative things, so you want to try to keep it pretty positive. Being unclear, so like saying a joke that they might not necessarily get. Sarcasm being a good example of that. Closed statements that leave her with nothing easily to respond to, unless it's giving value, which makes sense. Like if you're just like, if I literally just had to like toast some peanut butter or peanut butter on toast, it'd be like, okay. 1 sec here. There we go. We get the microphone right there. Long paragraph text. I actually have to argue that one. If you talk to a girl with online dating, through an online dating application, like let's say you started talking to someone on Hinge and she was giving you a bit of a paragraph, like not like the big novels, but a couple lines, and you had something to read and respond to, I would actually argue and say that's a good thing. I would rather get a bigger response from somebody than like nothing, or like one word responses. Texting late at night or early in the morning. So this one I'm a little, I don't understand so much, but it's like generally texting between about 1 to 11 a.m. shows that you don't have much going on and yields a low response rate. I don't believe that at all. If you were to text consistently when you woke up, like you just woke up, you'll flip out a text and then you don't text for like the next 8 hours because you're busy doing your day. I think that would make more sense to me rather than like stopping in the middle of your day and going like, okay, well clearly whatever you do, we're like, isn't important, whatever you were doing, and sending out a text. I don't agree with that. Like, he's literally got it to the point that it's like he calls them a low value girl if they text you at 4:30 or 7 a.m. Because they don't have much going on in their life. That's fucked, honestly. And also going 3+ days with responding back to her because you're busy will kill the number. That just makes sense. Yeah. So how to add value through a text and always get a response. So again, like, try to, be pretty positive here. We'll see what's going on. Like, obviously it's like, don't argue or say anything negative. So again, like flirting, like callback humor, right? Like if you've met obviously and there's some type of joke there, you can make a callback to that, which is good. So I think those two go hand in hand quite well. Nicknames, I don't know about nicknames. I think that's a bit strong. I call some people like Thunder Thumbs if they text really fast, but I mean, I normally don't call women that I'm interested in. I think memes is funny, but I like fucking dark memes, so yeah, they're not going to see those memes. In pictures, but I mean, I guess you could kind of go with memes and pictures being the same thing. Like the example here, he's like, oh, if I'm cooking, instead of just saying like I'm cooking, he's just going to send a photo of what he cooked. I think that'll work. Maybe not. Yeah, this next one, the authenticity, is... It's hard to say because I've been seeing a girl for a little bit now, actually. It's funny I say that, but like gone on a couple dates and stuff. And there's never been a question of either one of us going like, what's your Facebook account? What's your Instagram? What's your anything? Because I don't really care. Like, I don't like, and not saying that like in a bad way. It's just like, I don't need that to know someone. But apparently that is a big thing. Like it's saying here, like you gotta like fluff up your profile, and if you don't have a lot on the profile, like don't like show it off, right? Like don't get that out there. There's like a good line here. I like this right here. So a lot of guys have social lives, and they just don't capture it. That's really interesting because I would kind of feel that for myself. I feel like I go out a half decent amount, and then a lot of the times I'm just not taking photos. Like I'm just out enjoying myself, Yeah, so send your value text from Tuesday. I think that's fucked. Like Tuesday to Saturday between this time frame, and then a logistics is setting up the date. Like, yeah, I don't know. I agree. Like you want to set up a date not too far away from when you're actually gonna have the date. I have made that mistake before to be like a week in advance, and then it like obviously doesn't work. Whatever. And there was another note here. I forget. I think I missed it. Right here. So it's like before you fire off a text, spend another 10 seconds reviewing it and ask yourself, like, is this the most value I can give? I think you can overthink texting sometimes too, and that might be one of them. Handling logistics and setting up the date. So like, again, we'll just kind of skip in. So like asking her out, it's like, hey, we should grab a yogurt this week. I told you about the yogurt. Sorry, just one sec here. Let's get that right up here. Let's grab yogurt this week. Let's do happy hour this week. Like it's all super basic. Like basic format. Let's do like whatever activity that is less than $20 this week. I think that's funny that the value is supposed to be there as well. Yeah, I don't know. I think like that's a bit basic to do that. I kind of just typically like, hey, listen, if you're available this week, let's, how about we do this, right? Throw that out there. That's what I would prefer. That's what I do. The logistics is like, cool, I can do Wednesday. Which one works for you? The statement has yielded me more dates than anything. What's interesting is I've never had a girl tell me I can't do any of those things and give me more options, because you're putting multiple options in. That's why he's getting like, oh, I'm getting so much success. That's because you're giving them like 6 fucking things to try. Confirmation, like Tuesday evening works, yada yada, like whatever. Locking it down. You confirm the time. And then like that's interesting. Like the rebuttal. That's not a rebuttal. That's just confirming the fucking time. If you say 6:30, she's like, actually I'm tied up, but like, what can we do for 7:30? That's good. I like when a woman can come back to you with that. So yeah, and then the bullseye, whatever this BS is supposed to mean. Like, cool, we'll see you then, whatever. Yeah, so, okay, the day of the date, you send her 1 to 3 value texts between 12 to 4 p.m., whatever. So this does 3 things: increases comfort, builds up the date, constant communication. 2-3 hours before the date, you tell her you're getting ready, or you're on the way, or you're running late. About to hit, and like an example would be like about to hit the gym and then hopping in the shower. See you in a bit. 2 hours, by the way. See you in a bit. Yeah, 2 hours. Okay. You know, like had a crazy workout. Going to change. See you soon. Ugh. I mean, I would actually argue that I think what you should do is you should text someone the day of and just be like, just confirm it. Be like, hey, listen, like, cool, you're still good for tonight. Just making sure everything's awesome. Like, you know, and I like doing that because it just makes sure, like, if you're a little uneasy about what's going on, there you go. So we're going to get into some examples now. We won't go too much in these because we could be here for fucking days. So we'll go to the number one on the left here. So, hey, Erica, nice meeting you. We'll have to do some beer runs next week. Haha. And get yogurt, Andrew. So, like, definitely a little bit more formal. I mean, I'm not going to, like, pick it apart. But, I mean, really the yogurt thing is fucking annoying. Hey, Andrew, it was fun meeting you too. Yes, yogurt for sure. I'll negotiate the beer for vodka, though. See? And there's a little bit of that callback. There's a little bit of humor. I like that. Right? And, yeah, so, like, well, whatever. Like, so, and this is it. Apparently this is, like, having fun and being whatever, okay? So, great. Cool. It's hard to say, though, without the conversation. We're just going off a text message. Like, this one here just looks stupid. Like, Andrew. He doesn't even say, like, hey. He just, Andrew. You know, and then be appropriately excited for yogurt next week. And then she just sends, like, those two. Like, the emojis or whatever. Like, that, to me, this didn't go well at all. He goes, yeah, well, have fun, sober up. I'll text you later. And that was at 12:48 a.m. So according to his own thing, he's texting in the wrong time frame, and he apparently has nothing better to do. Especially with the name on the text is like Bianca or whatever with the emoji there. That's really dumb. And then he goes like, how'd your night end up? 1:30 p.m. the next day. Like, and then like it's just like, oh, good, we did this. How was yours? Like, I don't know. And then like the same idea happens. So like he texts her like, yeah, freezing. I have a cold, and then texts her the next day again. To me, this is a bit more of a struggle. We're just gonna skip that one. But yeah, like I said, we don't need to go through every one of them. But again, like here's him. Oh, okay, now I'm cooking. This is his idea of like, okay, look, I'm sending pictures. Look at me. Yeah, we'll skip that. Okay, so here we go. We got Marissa. Hey, nice meeting you, Marissa. I need you to be appropriately excited for yogurt this week, Andrew. Okay. I will say it's a great starting. Like, if you actually met somebody at the pub or whatever at 12:30 in the morning and you bounce. I think that's a good. I think that's a good text. Hey, it was nice meeting you too, Andrew. See ya. That wasn't that exciting. And yes, the next morning, I can't wait to try your favorite coconut flavored yogurt. Lol. And then, of course, he goes right here for the date. I think that's a great idea. You go in very early because if you meet someone, if you meet somebody and then you wait too long, I think it's going to run out. Like, you're not going to have that same thing. So if you meet someone and then you actually, like, genuinely meet them very soon after, like, I'm not saying, like, the next day, but it's fresh in your mind, you know? Hey, it's Andrew. Nice meeting you. Have a fun night. And then hi with, like, 4 exclamation points. And he went, like, fun night, 2 question marks. Haha, I'm done, going to sleep. And then they continue on the next day. He's got his meal. Yeah, like, again, like, and then say, okay, like, and then he puts the date up with Rachel. She actually asks, hey, are we still on for yogurt tomorrow? That's interesting. So she kind of looked interested there. Yeah, anyway. So like, yeah, just going through all the examples. I mean, we could do it. We could do it all day. And he's got like the observations here, but I mean, we don't need to go into that. It's hard to say what the examples because like you don't know the actual conversation. I wasn't there. I wasn't involved. So I'm just kind of going off of what I can, what the texting is there. So like the overall thoughts, I mean, I don't know. It just like, it seems like, I wouldn't say it's really basic, but it just seems to be all common sense to me. And obviously you want to add value to a conversation. You don't just want to mindlessly be texting. That's the biggest problem. So anyway, there was one other one I want to do here, but we'll get into that at some point here. I don't know if we might do it right now. But it's actually called the porn pandemic. And I just think it's really interesting, to hear about that. I don't know what it's going to be, but, we'll get into that when we get there. So anyway, thank you so much for watching, everybody. We're going to see you later. I really don't want to tell you. There's apparently there's a date for the, like an online dating mastery, that we're going to read at some point. But I don't know. I think that's all a bunch of bullshit too. It's just to go into like the pictures and everything and profiles and whatnot, which is all just a bunch of bullshit. So anyway, yeah, thank you so much for watching, everybody. We're gonna close her off there. Take it easy and see you in the next one. Peace.